Kyle Pitts has been franchise tagged. Breece Hall is next. George Pickens is in the mix too, but will Hall get the franchise tag or will Hall get the transition tag? Will Pickens be tagged and then hold out? He'll be tagged, that's for sure, but will he hold out? Mike Evans, do the Tampa Bay Bucks want him back? Yeah, they do. Wilson, Michael Wilson Jr., an extension? Looky here, reindeer. This guy is probably one of the better values in middle rounds in fantasy football. Underdog promo code Smitty. We'll talk about that in a minute because people are expecting him to either fail to replicate last year or even come close to replicating last year, and they're worried about Brissett. So Wilson Jr. is a nice value. Kyler Murray, where will he be? We got so much news. Ayuk, we've got Trent Williams, we've got Danny Dimes, we've got all kinds of news to go over. Quinshon Judkins, this is probably the most news we've had since last year. There has not been a day in the almost 2 months now of 2026 where we've had even remotely close to this much news to cover. So buckle up, Buttercups. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Oopsie. A little reveal there coming soon. Little fresh look for you there, ladies and gentlemen. Merch is on the way. I know some of you have bought the old school hoodie, but I still love the vintage. We're still going to sell it. It's going to be called the vintage hoodie. But your boy is been in the lab cooking. I'm on 1 hour of sleep. We've done 2 live streams already. I didn't go live immediately on Kyle Pitts because I've been doing a lot of stuff on the back end of the FantasyFootballShow.com and been doing a lot of other work like this. The Tailbreaker.com Tailbreaker came in today too. I haven't even had a chance to set it up yet, but anybody that purchases a Tailbreaker over at Tailbreaker.com using code Smitty25, you'll get $25 off. Anybody that buys one of these bad boys, if you want it anyway, right? You look at it and you go, oh my God, I could put that in my tow hitch. I could fish. I could back into the lake, just over the lake and fish, ice fish. I could tailgate. I'm going to live stream on it. Anybody that gets that is going to be in the Wild Wild West draft automatically. And the winner of the Wild Wild West draft is going to get a pair of Gunners, among other prizes. So just to let you know, I wanted to throw that out there. Kyle Pitts has been franchise tagged, ladies and gentlemen. And Tommy Rees gets his tight end. Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator of the Cleveland Browns, now the Atlanta Falcons. Stefanski was the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, now head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. This is just a transfer of powers over from Cleveland to Atlanta. And will it end badly? I don't know. But Kyle Pitts ended up delivering number 2 tight end numbers last year. And Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator in Atlanta last year, made Fannin number 5. So he's in good company, Kyle Pitts, to remain in this situation. Now, what happens with the contract, the holdout, all that stuff, more to come, but it looks like Kyle Pitts will be an Atlanta Falcon, which is good because it helps keep defenses honest, and I think Bijan has a little bit more wiggle. Travis has no power. So glad to see Travis. I haven't had a chance to get your take on this logo, my guy, because you've been totally off the grid because of the weather. Hopefully, Travis, you're safe and everything. But eggplant emoji, fire emoji, whatever emoji you want to throw Travis's way to let him know you've been missing Travis on the shows. But Travis, what are you thinking? What are we thinking there? What are we doing? All right, more news to come, but Kyle Pitts, that is a big piece of news, ladies and gentlemen, big piece. If anybody didn't catch this earlier, just real quickly wanted to say that A.J. Brown has turned over a new leaf, it seems, and wants to potentially stay, loves his city, loves his team. But now Sirianni making comments like, can't guarantee that A.J. Brown will be back with the Eagles in 2026. There is 2 sides to this coin. Takes 2 to tango, and just because A.J. Brown might feel like he might be ready to return home again, now A.J. Brown is facing another obstacle that is Sirianni, one of the worst head coaches in the league when it comes to coaches that are overvalued and doing things because their team is doing things, riding the coattails of the weaponry, riding the coattails really of Howie, who is one of, if not the best GM in the league. And Sirianni just keeps, hanging around, gets extended. And if he's only as good as his offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. And Sirianni, if it's me, I'm choosing A.J. Brown over Sirianni if I wasn't in this contract mess that the Eagles got themselves into. How he's smart about some things, yeah. But if there's one thing he's dumb about, it's signing his head coach to an extension and thinking that Sirianni's the answer. Sirianni is just riding the coattails of his team, and I think that they'd be a lot better without him. Doesn't matter if they've won with him. Doesn't matter. None of that matters because this is an arsenal of weaponry created by Howie. You've got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, one of the best defenses in the league. How do you not do well? Breece Hall, 8 foot tall. Jets would like to sign Breece Hall to an extension, but he's probably getting the transition tag. Again, people, if anybody's a little confused as to what the franchise tag is and the transition tag, the franchise tag is going to be top 5 average salary of the RBs, and no teams can wine and dine and give offers to Breece Hall, but the transition tag would be top 10 money, and then on top of that, he can get all these offers, get wined and dined by these teams, and the highest offer is going to get Breece Hall unless the Jets decide to match it. But you got to understand that if they're not necessarily, at least the expectation is that they won't franchise tag him, they'll transition tag him. They're not wanting to pay him top 5 running back numbers, because if they weren't worried about it, they would just pay this and say, we don't want anybody taking him. But clearly they're more interested in this kind of paycheck. And I think that the teams out there that need a running back, Saints, Chiefs are the number one on the list because they try to trade for him. Why wouldn't they try and go sign him without getting rid of draft capital? It's just a absolute match made in heaven. Breece Hall is probably going to be a Chief. The transition tag, though, if the team does decide to go with the transition tag instead of the franchise tag, Breece, I don't want to say Breece is as good as gone, but I feel like people aren't talking about it enough that the transition tag is almost an open door for him to leave, given the market, given the interest, given the teams that need running backs and the interest that those teams would have in Breece Hall specifically. I think it's very, very likely that this happens. Then you have the news we broke. We broke this news today earlier that according to the Veach, the GM, the architect-in-chief, the scout extraordinaire over in KC, very good eye for talent. He's always been very, very good. Veach came out and said that he wants his running back room to be explosive in 2026. They're moving on from Isaiah Pacheco. They want to go towards something different. They want to go towards something that can carry Mahomes as he recovers from his torn ACL and mangled knee, and they're going to lean on an RB. But if you get rid of Pacheco, I'm not saying that Dowdle's not better than Pacheco, but you start looking at the RB room. What is an upgrade? What constitutes the Chiefs going and getting a running back? It could be ETN. It could be, but he's most likely to stay put. But it could be ETN. Could be Kenneth Walker. Rico and Pacheco. I like Dowdle more, but this doesn't feel like that statement that Veach is making. We're gonna actually get rid of Pacheco. We're going beefy. We're going beefy. We're going all beef. We're going with the mastermind at the running back position that can absolutely torment defenses. Does Walker feel like that? Yeah. Does ETN feel like that? Yeah. Does Breece Hall feel like that? Yeah. Does this man Jeremiah Love feel like that? Absolutely. Those are the 4 running backs. So the only 4 running backs he could be talking about.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece.
He does a hull of a job. A hull of a job. A hull of a job.
Breece Hall, please report to the moon.
He does a hell of a job.
He does a hell of a job. That is correct. Breece Hall is a baller. Now, I don't care if it's Jeremiah Love or Breece Hall in KC. I'd rather have Love in New Orleans starting a brand new career with Shuck and Olave, and I just think the system would be great for Jeremiah Love. I'd rather have Breece Hall in KC, veteran, doesn't have to learn pass protection for his team and get his feet wet, hit a rookie wall for Mahomes. You want a veteran. You want somebody that's going to step in, be able to handle everything. And that's why Jeremiah Love's attractive for the 9 pick that the Chiefs hold. It's a very good spot for Jeremiah Love to go right here at 9. But you do really, really want this team focused on some other things if they can bring in a Breece Hall on just a financial type of obligation. And they didn't want to surrender a 3rd-round pick, which was what the Jets wanted before the trade deadline last year. So this is already inevitable. And now it can happen even more easily in some ways if he gets transition tagged, which I think he will. So KC takes Breece Hall from the Jets by offering him a lucrative deal that the Jets don't want to match. And then if the Chiefs feel like they're going to potentially lose Rashee Rice for some time this year because he's now facing yet again more potential disciplinary action from the NFL, could be very bad or could be not bad. It's kind of tough to say. It doesn't feel good. It feels like it's going to go a bad way very, very soon. But if that's the case, then you grab Carnell Tate right here at number 9, who I think would be a fantastic choice. But the Chiefs have a lot of options, and if I am going to give a preference, I do want Jeremiah Love to go to the New Orleans Saints, and I want and that's at number 8. And then I want the motherfucking Chiefs to have Breece Hall already on the roster, obviously, at this point when you get to the NFL draft. So there's that news right there, and that coincides with this news right here that the Jets would like to sign Breece Hall to an extension. Do they? But do they really want to? Because kicking money downstream makes sense. Like maybe they do want to pay Breece with the franchise tag commands. But Ziggy, give me the franchise tag for quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends for 2026 offseason.
For the 2026 offseason, the franchise tag values are quarterbacks at $47.242 million, running backs at $14.186 million, wide receivers at $28.037 million, and tight ends at $16.007 million.
Ziggy off. Turn off. So, what I was going to say is that did the Jets want to sign Breece Hall for much under $14 million? Is that why they're doing this? Well, you can make a contract very team-friendly, especially in year 1. So it's not like they wouldn't maybe pay him around 12 to 13 per year if you stretched it out and give him upfront money. Talking about trying to give him like almost double 2 years annually as a guarantee. So if you're signing him to a $13 million deal, 13 per year annually, then you're trying to get him 20 plus in guarantees, or 18 to 20 or something like that. So there's a chance that they could sign him to a long-term deal. We also don't know how much Breece Hall wants to stay, at home in New York. And it's hard to say. There's a lot of avenues this could go. But I do think that the initial feeling I have is if the team doesn't want to franchise tag him at this $14.1 million and they want to be cheapskates about it and they want to go transition tag top 10 and then try and work out a deal, that a team's going to come in and offer more than the Jets are willing to really accept if an offer is thrown on the table and they've got to make a decision. George Pickens, our boy, Georgie boy, doesn't he play in a band called the Dak Attack? Zach Attack? What is it?
Oh, Dak Attack. Oh, Dak Attack. Lamb. Pickens. Lamb. Pickens. Dak Attack. Dak Attack. Dak Attack.
Appreciate Landman dropping a super chat over on the Rumble side of things. Landman, appreciate you dropping the wattage over on Rumble. Let me give you a standing ovation. New Age Outlawed dropping a motherfreaking gifted membership. New Age dropped a gifted membership, and Landman dropped a super chat. If I said that correctly.
I smell meatloaf.
Let's handle those real quickly. Any super chats on YouTube will be handled in order in which to receive. This is from Landman. He says, Landman here, like the new logo as almost as much as the double gold for the USA Olympic hockey. No, it's fantasy football show, but special rant for the US Olympic hockey gold shines. So does the new logo. Yeah, hats off to the hockey team. Hats off to the hockey
Let
team.
him cook.
hats off to USA. Hats off to the hockey team. Very proud of the boys and proud of everything those boys stand for. George Pickens, Cowboys executive VP, Mr. Jones, said he was going to place the franchise tag on George Pickens sometime next week. So that's going to happen. And it's going to cause maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 live streams in the next couple weeks. So get ready. Max Crosby, we already reported this. Schefter said it'd take a Micah Parsons type package to get Crosby out the roster. But I do have more Crosby news. I'll find that in a second, where they don't want to trade him. Spytech said he doesn't want to trade him. Breece Hall, Jets are negotiating on a contract with Breece Hall, and the franchise tag and transition tags are both options. I just explained that, but that's another report verifying what I said there. Mike Evans, the Bucs want to keep him, maybe. So we'll see. It kind of comes down to what Mike wants, right? He's a free agent, do whatever he wants. But if he wants to come home, they're going to let him come home. And I don't think that's bad for Igbokwe. He's getting older. He might be more of and I don't think he'll be as effective as a touchdown getter as Adams, but he might be very much like a Devontae Adams type of situation, where it's a lot of touchdowns maybe. And again, not like Adams, 14 leading the league in touchdowns last year. But Adams had 789 yards receiving, which was not very good. That is not very good at all. And his touchdown saved him. I think we could be looking at, in Tampa Bay, Mike being around 700, 800, 900 yards. Maybe he gets 1,000, like 10-10. I mean, to get 10-10 on 17 games, but will he play 17 games? Probably not. If he did play 17 games, 10-10 divided by 17 is, what is that, 59 yards? I mean, he can easily do that. So 10-10 is not crazy. But it might be something along the lines of like 907, 909. Something that's going to be readily available for Baker to give him without him impeding him being Evans on Igbokwe's production. Igbokwe's the number one wide receiver no matter what happens. And I don't mind if this happens. It'll help keep the number one defender off of Igbokwe and out of his hair. So not too worried about that at all. But I do think Mike Evans in Buffalo or in New England's a better option fantasy-wise. Even if he did get 10-10 in 7 or 8, that's huge for Drake May. That's huge for Josh Allen. Josh Allen might even get him like in the 10 touchdown and 800-yard variety. Or maybe he goes 10, 50, and 5 touchdowns, in a different direction. He's certainly capable of it. Browns running back Quinshon Judkins, who had that nasty leg ankle situation, is out of a walking boot and is supposed to be good to go for training camp. Well, training camp's a long ways away. That's the expectation. We'll see. I'm certainly not drafting any Browns players at all except for Fannin. Do I draft Fannin, though? Do I draft Fannin? The question is, do I draft Fannin? Where is he? Moonman, Marsman? I forget where. Where's he at? Man. Fannin, there he is.
Dropping loads in outer space.
Fannin to the moon.
Let him cook.
Oh, Fannin! Fannin, the man with the plan, the master plan. Kenneth Walker, Seahawks GM, said obviously, like he did at the podium, we love to have Kenneth Walker back, but didn't comment on the idea of franchise tagging him. I think this is a mutual agreement that is not necessarily all that airtight. That's kind of my vibe here. That they're like, okay, we're not going to tag you. And he's like, I don't want to go anywhere, but you got to pay me. And they haven't really gotten there. So we'll see what happens. Ultimately, I think there's more of a chance. I don't know how much, but more of a chance Walker's back in Seattle than not. But that could change quickly, and I don't know that it's a heavy percentage favor. But I certainly think it's slight favor at least. Falcons coach Kevin Stefanski. You heard of this guy before? You know the guy. The guy. This is the guy. I'm not big on giving out positions in February. When asked if Michael Penix Jr. is the team's starting quarterback. This guy, you don't believe me? This guy is an imbecile.
Take a big laugh. We don't need your head.
Just Matt Ryan should be removed of all decision making already. Matt Ryan's going to destroy everything that Bijan and London and Kyle Pitts and Zach Robinson Zach Robinson, mastermind offensive coordinator that they just let walk. They should have promoted Zach Robinson to head coach. This was Ben Johnson. Zach Robinson was Ben Johnson. Do you understand what I'm saying? The same thing that happened over in Detroit, although it wasn't a head coach and offensive coordinator getting fired together like Ben Johnson left to get a new, but same concept in like Ben Johnson should have stayed in Detroit and they should have got rid of Campbell. And we knew that. We said it. It's not hindsight. We knew that. And Atlanta should have just fired Raheem Morris and promoted Zach Robinson. You know what Zach Robinson said about our buddy boy Bijan Robinson? He said Bijan and Bucky he sees in similar light. And Bucky's going to have a mother freaking field day in 2026 under the command of said Zach Robinson, who fed Bijan 800 receiving yards. 800 receiving yards? Fed Bijan double-digit touchdowns.
You've just been
Fed Bijan 1,400 yards and 70-plus receptions.
You've just been Smitty approved. Get Bijan.
Bijan going to the moon. Guess who else is going to the moon? A man you guys are real familiar with.
Get buckied. Buckied.
Drop your Bucky and Bijan emojis. I'm not saying they're the same player. I'm not saying that, but I think, we were the highest on Bijan on planet Earth. We're the highest on Bucky on planet Earth. So I think I do have a little bit of say to start correlating some things. And Zach Robinson's going to turn Bucky into a monster. The back on point here where we were trying to go before I sidetrack myself. Stefanski's an imbecile. And hopefully Tommy Reese, his offensive coordinator, who we brought over from Cleveland, who did great things with Fannin, did pretty damn good things with Shador considering. Stefanski's already trying to muck up the quarterback position. I already told you this is going to be the problem. If you want to say Stefanski, Smitty, he was a coach of the year. What, Smitty? Haven't you learned anything? If you want to try and say something positive about Stefanski, I don't care. Say what you want. I really don't care. I know what I know. And what I know is this man doesn't know the quarterback position. I know this man knows how to screw up everything. I know this man had to turn over his play calling duties. He's a play caller. Stefanski's a play caller. He surrendered his play calling duties to Tommy Reese, the offensive coordinator that was in Cleveland when he did it. And he brings him over to Atlanta. And you're hiring a head coach that stripped his own duties away from himself. And that was the second time it happened in Cleveland. He got his play calling duties removed. Then he got them back another year later. And then he had to surrender them again. He's so bad at this football racket. And people have high hopes for him. Look what he's doing already. Penix Jr., I'm not a big fan of giving out positions. How about you drafted him in the top mother freaking 10? Not you, but the team. The team drafted him. The ownership drafted him. The ownership hired Stefanski. So Stefanski, in turn, drafted Penix Jr. in the top 10 because he's taken on what the team's handing him. This is a top 10 quarterback selection, and you're not in the business of handing out positions? What are people not seeing that's incompetence here? I am worried about Bijan and London to a degree. I don't know how much, but I'm certainly not as excited. That's why Jahmyr Gibbs is my number one running back overall. Bijan's not falling outside the top 5 overall. Bijan's not falling past running back 2 or 3. He's not falling past running back 2. Although Genty could surprise. But Bijan is Bijan, but he's going to be less Bijan to some degree. Watered down a little bit. Maybe it's only a half a yard of carry. But it's going to be something because Stefanski doesn't know what in the hell he's doing. How do you not give out positions? This feels a lot like the J9 situation. Who's your starting quarterback? As far as I know, this is a beat writer Steve from Minnesota. Beat writer Steve from Minnesota here. Who are your quarterbacks on your roster? J9, That's pretty much it. Is J9 your starter? We're not ready to divulge that yet. We're not in the business of handing out starters and positions. We're not in the business of doing that, even though we don't have anybody else. This feels a lot like that. What do you mean? You took him and the team took him ninth or 8th overall? What are you doing? Stefanski's going to burn it all to the ground. I just hope he gets fired before the end of the season. And I hope he gets fired after 1 year. I'm not saying I don't want him to have a job. I don't ever want someone to get fired, to be honest. This world is big enough for everybody to succeed. I hope he gets moved, a lateral change over to like VP of VP presidents. VP of coffee getting and pay him the same money. I don't care. I don't want him to lose his money. I want his family to be taken care of. But I don't want him to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons where he can destroy everything that we've helped build up. Because we invented Bijan. We invented these players. Gibbs is my number one running back if you haven't heard. But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs's workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10. Oh, man. John, no one's listening to what you're saying, bro. I'm sorry, but you got to stop saying ridiculous things. You guys liked the previous head coach. We loved Zach Robinson more than anything. And Zach Robinson just delivered 800 receiving yards, 79 receptions, 1,400 rushing yards, double-digit touchdowns to Bijan. So I don't know what you're talking about there. And I don't know what you're talking about here. Bijan, everybody else is on the team is trash and inconsistent. Yeah, London's really trash. John, stop it, bro. No one's going to pay attention to anything you're going to say if you can start rattling off nonsense like that. And you're always negative anyway. Everything you say is somewhat negative lately. Let me look for some of John's comments. Let me just see, John. John, let's see what you've been up to. You should do this with your logo. See, you should do this. You should do that. I don't know. Okay, outside of that, you like it. That was a good comment. Outside of that, you like it. You guys like the previous head coach. Just Bijan, everybody else is trash. John, you do this a lot. There's not a lot more than that you said tonight, but 2/3 of it's negative already. This by Sergio. Sergio, appreciate you. I traded Tyler. Oh, standing ovation for the super chat. What did you trade? What did you do? What did you do, Sergio? I traded Tyler Warren for Walker, Michael Wilson, and 2.5. I like that. In Dynasty, I have Loveland. Was that a smart move? It wasn't a smart move. It was a great move.
You've just been...
Outstanding move, my guy. Outstanding move. And I still love the hell out of Tyler Warren. But, man, I mean, Walker's nice. Michael Wilson's nice. 2.5 with it is nice. And you didn't need it. It's not like it's dual tight end. Tight end super flex. I like this. I like this. This is a good move. Congrats on that. Thank you for the super chat. And hopefully Michael Wilson becomes a straight up baller again this year, or remains a straight up baller, rather. Michael Wilson, I talked about this. Cardinals GM Monty Austin Ford said that Michael Wilson is about everything we want in our program to be about, and hopefully he is here a long time. When asked if they would offer him an extension, I don't know what kind of extension he'd get. It would be one of those ones where it's like, if he waited a year, he'd get a monster deal, but he doesn't want to get hurt. He wants to take the money while it's there. But Michael Wilson, locking him up will be smart for the Cardinals because you're talking about a much lower number than he probably deserves. Mac Jones, but Brissett, hopefully Brissett. We want to hear more about Brissett. What's Brissett looking like? We got Kyler Murray news. Let's go to the Kyler Murray news since we're on Arizona. This one here from ESPN reports Kyler Murray and the Cardinals GM Monty Austin Fort have not talked since the end of the season. If that doesn't tell you that Kyler Murray's gone, as good as gone, I don't know what does. And Jacoby Brissett, whether the Cardinals have different rookie plans or this or that, Brissett will be the starter week 1. And if he has to earn it back again or hold it, maintain it, not let go of it with his kung fu grip, then so be it. But these people that don't mention Brissett when you talk about the Cardinals quarterback job is a joke. You know, it's like, I think maybe they should trade for Aaron Rodgers. Malik Willis would be a good option, which I agree with in theory. But what about Jacoby Brissett? Why is no one talking about it? Why, when people talk about the QB situation in Arizona, we hear nonsense? Brissett earned it. He was a top 5 quarterback every start on average. What are we talking about here? Mac Jones, 49ers GM John Lynch, said somebody would have to come with a fairly strong offer for us to consider trading Mac Jones. And they've been saying this. This is posturing. Remember, hey, do you think Deebo Samuel's going to get traded? We're not in the business of trading good players. Hold on a second. We got a call. John Lynch. Oh. Okay. Deebo Samuel? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Send him right over. Deebo, pack your bags, buddy boy. I truly believe that this is posturing, but I truly believe that Shanahan will not let him go. Like, they're posturing, but they're being honest. They're actually on a straight line on the lie detector. No lies detected here. They really won't trade him unless the offer is amazing. But they are posturing it, right? This is what we want. They're trying to get somebody to give the right offer because they want to better this team. And the window's closing. There's still a chance that the window's like this. And that doesn't mean they can't win a Super Bowl. It just means that the window's closing. It's still open enough to get through and win a Super Bowl if everything went perfectly right. If McCaffrey stayed healthy for the whole 2026 season, George Kittle came back by, I don't know, near double-digit weeks, let's say. They say 5, 6. Let's just say he came back a week 9. And they have, I don't know, they have 2 wins above 500 or something. And it doesn't matter. Like, they just start winning out. Like, there's certainly a possibility that if they could get rid of Mac Jones and get the right piece, then I don't know. What if you could get the right wide receiver in this type of thing? What if you could do some sort of trade where, like, Jordan Addison comes over to San Francisco in a Mac Jones deal? They like Naylor a lot. I think Naylor's pretty good, but maybe that's something that could potentially be cooked up. And honestly, the Minnesota-San Francisco ties are very, very close. Jordan Mason, there's always something that can happen. But, Mac Jones needs to be in Minnesota. That's where he belongs. So, Mackie boy, let me call Mac up real quick and tell him. Yes, connect me to the Mac is back. Yeah, return of the Mac Jones. Mac, we need you in Minnesota, pal. JJ needs you. We need you. Yep. Calvin Ridley needs you. He's got a lot riding on this. Okay, Mac, we'll see you there. All right. Let's get to the rest of this news. I told you there's a lot of it. Daniel Jones, Tom Pelissero says the Colts and Daniel Jones have been discussing a contract extension, a multi-year deal, or a multi-year deal, not extension. Malik Willis, a lot of reports, overwhelming belief he's going to be in Miami because of the ties to Green Bay. The head coach is the defensive coordinator that screwed up everything in the playoffs, and somehow this imbecile of an organization decided to mother freaking bring in the debacle of a defensive coordinator. Awful defense. And the way they played in that playoff game was putrid. They gave the game to Caleb and the Bears. There was 5%, 6% chance that they could give the game away, and they did. And I think it even climbed to 27%, then went back down to 9%, and then they gave it away again. And this inept guy got a head coaching job. But the Ties GM head coach from Green Bay, now in Miami, make it the lead dog favorite for Malik Willis. I think if the Pittsburgh Steelers were smart, they would let Aaron Rodgers go, not talk about it. Just bring Malik Willis in. Malik Willis would be a great fit. I will say, though, I keep saying this over and over and over. As much as I don't dislike it like a ton, but I don't love Malik Willis in Miami from a Malik Willis standpoint. I just think that I'd like to see him go somewhere that is a little less of a chance that the situation could fail him, and then everybody's judging Malik Willis. Malik Willis is a good option as an NFL quarterback, but man, I mean, if he's not supported properly, it could backfire, and everybody's going to think he's the problem. He's not. He's a great option. This is what I'm excited about. the support that a Malik Willis would give Achane, dumping off to him, just keeping defenses at least, remotely honest. So that's more what I'm focused on, and I'm willing to let Malik Willis get sacrificed as a lesser fantasy option to protect Achane. Achane's more important, so I'm okay with it. Will it happen? We will see. Travis Kelce, Chiefs general manager Brett Veach, there's Veach again, says hopefully Travis Kelce returns to the team in 2026. Doesn't seem like a lock right now. Seemed like a lock a little while ago, but he's mulling some stuff. CJ Stroud, according to Nick Caserio, GM of the Texans, he said that, the team trading CJ Stroud this offseason is a moronic conversation. So there's no Stroud getting moved. Some of those rumors got kicked in. Again, we're in smoke season, baby. Smoke season's crazy. SpyTech says he expects Max Crosby to remain a Raider in 2026. Again, Schefter said it would take, don't mix things up. Schefter said it would take a Parsons-type trade. Schefter said that. SpyTech said that he expects Max Crosby to be a Raider in 2026. So take that for what it is. Travis, glad Travis is out there. Appreciate you. Hopefully that weather is keeping you safe, Travis. I didn't get the chance to read what you said. Dunze, Travis, are you in a safe territory? Is it just the power? Let me know on that. I'll look for your message this time. Dunze, Bill, and 26 4.06 for ETN and Algier. What? Adunze? Yeah, take Etienne and Algier and run. I like Adunze, and if Adunze got traded to, let's say, and this is no lock by any means, if he got traded to Buffalo or New England, I could probably say that it might be back to dead even, or maybe even positional need. I could see myself leaning Adunze if I needed the wide receiver. But Etienne and Algier is still very good value. Etienne is a solid fantasy football option. And one could argue that Adunze, even in New England's no guarantee. And so at the end of the day, I don't think I turned down an Etienne and Algier in that situation. That's a really, really good trade in my opinion. And thank you for the super chat, young man. You get a standing ovation. And let's see what Rumble's doing over here. Rumble back there. Rumble, appreciate you. Appreciate Bullfrog. New Age Outlaw, thanks for that gifted membership. Thank you, Landman, for the super chat over on Rumble. Bullfrog in the building. Turbo in the building. Teflon in the building. Turbo, I said already. 420 man in the building. Appreciate all my Rumblers. KDQ, appreciate you in the building over on Rumble. Aldi in the building. Aldi was first in the building over on the Rumble channel. God, this news is endless today. I feel like I'm not getting through it. I feel like I'm moving pretty fast, but 40 minutes already. David Montgomery, according to the GM of the Lions, Mr. Holmes said that conversations with David Montgomery and his agent and the situation is fluid, or he's had conversations. This is one of those players that kind of is leaning toward maybe wanting to be moved, but I'm going to tell you right now that his agent and David Montgomery they probably already know that there's just not there's not a big market. There's probably one or two select teams that would have interest in Monty. You know, a team that we thought about is KC. I mean, we say explosive, we want to say he's maybe on the way down. He's been at the peak of his career, now he's going down. But teams don't necessarily think or project like what we do. And I could very much see the Chiefs seeing Monty as that type of guy. But at the end of the day, Breece Hall is better. Breece Hall is what we want. And Breece Hall doesn't require draft capital to make that happen. Travis's comment here says, yeah, it's all good. Just waiting for power to come back on. Generator giving a few lights, gas, fireplace, giving heat. Okay, that's crazy, man. That's wild. Thanks. All good here. Storm was bad, but just for a day. We're used to it up north. Okay, well, glad you're all good, bro. That's crazy that all the phones and everything are down, like the towers and such. You kind of just assume you'd be good. What if you had Starlink, though? Would you be completely fine? And is Starlink that much more expensive than other internet services? I'm just curious if anybody has Starlink, because Starlink should be good, right? Starlink would always be up. All right, let's hit this other news. Then we are going to open the phone lines briefly, and then we'll be back at midnight. Too early to say if Deshaun Watson or Shedeur will be the Week 1 starter. I don't anticipate we'll have that information, but don't be surprised if they look at this and say, look, Deshaun Watson's been here for how long? Are we really going to... Imagine this for a second. Close your eyes. Okay. Todd Monken comes into town in Cleveland, becomes the head coach. The Browns have been tied to this Deshaun Watson contract and have been trying to get out. It's fully guaranteed. Biggest mistake of the Browns' life. And you start Deshaun Watson, and then you need to give him an extension. Like, can you imagine if you signed him to another deal? He just robbed you of $220+ million, and now he plays kind of good, let's say, for half a season, and now you're going to give him an extension? I just don't know how this is going to play out. I don't know. He's fully guaranteed his money. He's not a trade candidate or anything like that. It's hard to say, but Shedeur deserves a start. He's the likely future of the team, at least the best shot at it. And honestly, he wasn't supported because Stefanski, the coach we keep talking about, didn't set him up at all for anything but failure. It's not Shedeur's fault. Shedeur and Tommy Reese cooked for a little bit. There's some time where they cooked together. Dallas Goedert, according to Howie, they'll talk to Dallas Goedert's agent in the coming days. So Dallas Goedert, they want to try and keep on roster this year, and he probably wants to stay. I think he probably feels like a Super Bowl's around the corner for him. I mean, that's the way he's going to look at it. This report here from NBC Houston, Mixon and the Texans are divorced. That's not going to get back together. So we told you that last year. There's something weird going on too. Mark my words, you'll find out about it at some point. I don't know it. I'm not trying to pull one of those. I'm just, my vibe is there's something weird that we'll find out, and it's going to be like, oh. Omar Khan said that they've spoken with Kenny Gainwell's agent, and he knows we want him back. That's interesting, and it puts that running back room in the same kind of flux that it was all last year if Gainwell's on the roster. I kind of like Gainwell quietly better than Jaylen Warren, who continues to get hurt. And John Lynch said that the 49ers are on the right track in contract talks with left tackle Trent Williams, who's getting older, and who knows, if he falls apart, then the Niners are cooked. And the other report we have is that they were having trouble in negotiations. So this feels like John Lynch kind of selling a story to you, singing a song. I don't think they're in a good spot. But that could change really quickly. Brandon Ayuk, according to general manager John Lynch, he's been a busy boy today. Nothing will happen with Brandon Ayuk until the new league year. They're kind of trying to pretend they're going to still have trading partners for Brandon Ayuk, but no one in their right mind would trade for this guy. He's an absolute wreck, and he just completely didn't earn a single dime. He got paid millions, and they never even... What a bad contract. Probably one of the worst. Like, the Niners, ever since Adam Peters left, they've kind of made bad selections. Look at Williams last year. Look at Ricky Pearsall, and you could say, oh, Ricky's going to do good this. It doesn't matter. He's been a disaster. You could say whatever you want about what you think Ricky will do this year. Ricky has been one of the worst first-round picks we've seen in a while. Williams wasn't any better. It's been like 3 years that the Niners have botched their draft picks. But they could have had Cooper DeJean, but they took Ricky Pearsall. I mean, that you'll never live that down. The Trey Lance unraveling, whether it was his fault or not, it was the Niners screwed that up and crapped the bed. Brandon Ayuk, they're not really good with early draft selections, and the way these situations are in the offseason, they're horrible with it. That's why I say that John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, they're really good at certain things, but they're one of the worst in the league at other things. So it doesn't make him, everyone says, coach of the year. His offseason, he's not the coach of the year. During the season, he's the offensive coordinator of the year, even though he's a head coach, because that's the skill set that he's actually showing off with. When you're talking about Shanahan being an amazing coach of the year, all the attributes that you're bringing to the table that you're measuring are all offensive coordinator roles and characteristics. That's what he's great at doing. He's such a good offensive coordinator, you forget how bad of a head coach he can be. And I stand by that. And I will. I'll continue to. And I'll dunk on you if you want to argue differently. Ayuk. Davis Webb. Oh, I thought it was the last piece of news. Davis Webb's going to call plays in Denver. Davis Webb is solid. Solid. Michael Pittman Jr. Any suggestion that Michael Pittman isn't going to remain a Colt is pure hypothetical in my mind, says the Colts GM. So that's interesting, but I think he feels like he's as good as gone. Here's that other report. On the right track. That's the same one. Woo! That's all she wrote. Dial into the show. Dial into the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in to the show, to thy show. Such an interesting amount of news today. I mean, it was jam-packed with news, just jam-packed. I think my favorite piece of news today is probably the continuation, if you will, of the transition tag, most likely being applied to Breece Hall, and not the likely franchise tag. That is probably my favorite news carried over, really, of the day, because it just probably means he's gone. There's a chance that the Jets still convince him to sign a long-term deal, and we're like, wow, why'd he do that? But that's going to be, Breece Hall making a bad choice. For the most part, the transition tag is kind of a see you later. If you're an elite player like Breece Hall, Breece Hall deserves the franchise tag. The Jets are so inept, they don't even know what tag to apply to him. They think he's a transition tag player. That shows how much they don't trust him and how much they don't really want to pay him. Because if you have an elite player you're scared to death of losing, you don't transition tag him. You put a franchise tag on him. Putting a franchise tag on a player says, we're not messing around. This is a cornerstone player. Get away. Stop talking to my player. Get my player's the words out of your mouth. You walk up and you're Will Smith. That's what this is. You want a player, you don't put a transition tag on him. Do we like Braylon Allen, Matto? I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see how that plays out. I don't want to say yes. I certainly don't want to say no, but I don't want to say yeah. I more so want to say I don't know than I want to say yeah, if that makes sense. Yep. All right, guys. I'll see you at midnight Eastern. Thank you, all my Rumblers. Appreciate all of you over on the Rumble. You guys are monsters over on Rumble. Just straight up savages. Turbo, appreciate you. Mikey in the building over on Rumble. New Age Outlaw, again, I appreciate you so much. Bullfrog, you too. Hag, appreciate Hag. Hag's always, doing it live in the motherfreaking Rumble chat. Aldi, Landman's a beast. I don't know where Hebrew Hammer is. I have no idea, but Hag, appreciate you. Aldi, appreciate you. Appreciate every single one of you in the Rumble chat. If you guys haven't subscribed to the Rumble channel, please click this link. I'm going to drop it in the YouTube chat. Those of you on Rumble, please click the YouTube links. Both channels, please subscribe to both channels if you're on Rumble. Here's the link to the Rumble channel for the YouTubers out there. Appreciate every single one of you. Let me drop that in the chat right here. And Jonathan, there's the Rumble link. I'll pin that. Jonathan, I got a question from my boy Jonathan, who says this. $5 hauler, first of all. $5 hauler. That's my boy. My boy Jonathan says this. He says, Smitty, Dynasty got offered the 3.3 for Braylon Allen. I'd rather have the 3.3. I like Braylon Allen a little bit, but so many moving parts. They'd draft another player. I don't know. He's all right. I guess I'd rather take a shot, because there's going to be a pretty decent player at 3.3, like Keytron Allen. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I think it's rather the pick, but it's close. Running backs are Breece, Bucky, White, Dowdle, Chuba, Manungai. Love Manungai, bro. Manungai, Breece, and Bucky's fantastic. Yeah, I'd probably take the 3.3 in hopes that I could get something weird. Because you're talking about players falling. Thank you for the super chat. Chat, would you rather have? Please vote on that one. Sam, I'm sorry I missed Sam's chat. Sam, $10 hauler. Sammy boy. Got a free $10 spot. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate you. Is that what you're saying, or are you saying it because I missed it? I didn't mean to miss it, Sam. My fault. You there, Sam? You know I never miss your super chats, my boy. I'm sorry. Smitty, I'm trying to keep up with you live. Love the hard work. We need to support our fantasy boss. I support when I can. Preach, brother. Thank you. Oh, you're just saying you had an extra 10 to throw. What the F is, I think, what you're saying, right? I don't know. But, Sam, I'm sorry if I made you wait at all. I certainly wasn't going to leave without reading that. My bad. Appreciate you supporting the channel, Sam. Make sure you're subscribed on Rumble, Sam. Sam to the moon. Sam gets a standing ovation. Meatloaf
I
time.
smell meatloaf.
Hey, Ma, the meatloaf. Sammy boy. Sam says, I love you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. We are out of here, I think. And we'll be back at midnight Eastern. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. Live when big news breaks, like we did 2 times today. I didn't go live in the Kyle Pitts thing because I saved it for the 8 p.m. show. And we'd already talked about it like so many times that he's getting tagged. And then it officially happened, and it was like, what are we going to go live again to officially? I don't know. But we did cover it, obviously, on this show. See you all at 8 p.m. or midnight Eastern. And again, anybody buys a tailbreaker, let me go back to that real quick. Anybody buys a tailbreaker, tailbreaker.com, using code Smitty25 gets you $25 off if you use code Smitty25. If you think you want a tailbreaker, mine just came in. It's in a box in the living room. I haven't had a chance. I've been so busy today. I'm going to probably put that together right now and put it on my Instagram and tag them and all that, do an unboxing. So check out my Instagram. Don't stray away from the IG. That's where you see a lot of my stuff, my daily stuff on my stories. Don't miss out on the Insta, baby. It's such a fun platform. I love doing the story posts, and it's just a different type of content you're going to get. But the tailbreaker, if anybody wants one of these because you genuinely want one, anybody that uses code Smitty25, they're the first person. You're in the wild west league, and that draft is going to be live on the channel. The prizes, I haven't got all of them sorted, but one of the prizes will be a pair of Gunners blue light blocking glasses, but it's going to be free to enter. It's just a wild west league, but there'll be limited spots. We give them away in weird ways. High super chatters get the spot, or and the Patreon, I'll give one away or whatever. So anybody that buys one of these and uses code Smitty25 or the first person to will get that spot in the wild west drafts. And if you bought them at the same time, I would give both of you a spot. So I will announce when that happens. And man, this is just such a good product. I can't wait. Go to my Instagram to watch me talk it up, because we'll be doing it live, unboxing style. All right, see you all at midnight Eastern. Appreciate every single one of you. Stay safe out there, Travis, and everybody with down power. I'm going to go watch the State of the Union. Deuce!